listening to the 9th episode of the PB&J podcast, where I document the life and times of an entry-level product designer in 20-minute episodes every Sunday. I had pre-recorded this episode way earlier, but some things have happened since then that I want to include in this podcast. So that's why I am recording today on Sunday, and it's really late already, and there's a lot of noise in the background, so please forgive me. Okay, so let's first of all get into the more you know. So on today on the more you know, I'm gonna talk to you guys about this. Isn't really design related, but I guess it kind of is. It's basically about LinkedIn. So a friend of mine messaged me, and she said she was listening to my and I think it was episode 2, and she was like, "How are you on LinkedIn? How are you chronically online on LinkedIn? How did you transition into a LinkedIn girly?" And yeah, and I also mentioned that I had deleted TikTok and Instagram. So I had deleted every other social media except for LinkedIn, because of Lent, and that was my abstinence to be off social media. But I needed LinkedIn because I was doing my whole job hunt and whatever. I needed to be on LinkedIn for work and my journey and whatnot. So yeah, it was more business than pleasure being on LinkedIn, to be honest. And I don't even like LinkedIn to this day, to be honest. It's if you think Instagram is bad, LinkedIn is worse, because of, I hate to say this, but the brain rot that you get on LinkedIn, because there's some posts that I guess on surface level they seem so deep, oh my gosh, whoa, this is mesmerizing, oh my god, what a grand feat. And then, but when you actually deep it, it's what are you really saying? Do you get what I mean? All this fake aspire to perspire, bruh. It's the ghetto on LinkedIn. But I managed to curate my LinkedIn feed to posts that I actually want to see and are relevant to me. So because I'm looking for internships to apply for, and anything design related that I can interact with and hop on. So yeah, so that's what the more you know segment is going to be about: how to create your LinkedIn, how to, I guess, get into being on LinkedIn and optimizing the platform. So first of all, you're gonna have to connect with the right people on LinkedIn. So creating if you're familiar with TikTok, since Easter, I downloaded TikTok back onto my phone. So I currently have TikTok. Yeah, but I don't have Instagram. I don't know how this is relevant. I digress. Anyways, so yeah, so if you're familiar with TikTok, there's a way that you're able to create your feed. Do you get what I mean? You can create your feed to be things that you want to see. And you do that by interacting with posts that you want to see. So if by chance you come across a post or a TikTok that you don't want on your page, you can select the not interested option, and then the algorithm takes note of that, and it won't push that type of content to your feed. But then if you come across content that you like it, or you double tap and then maybe comment on it, the algorithm takes note of that, and then those are the type of content that will push your feed. So this is you can apply this to LinkedIn as well, which is what I do. So first of all, connect with people that are in the field that you're perhaps trying to get into, or the field that you want to see more on your feed. So I connected with a bunch of product designers, and I'm hesitant to connect with people that are not product designers. I'm not necessarily not, people that are very far off from what I want to delve into, I don't connect with. But like I would connect with like maybe engineers, people. I'm mostly connecting with people that work in tech because that's what I want to see on my feed, especially product designers. But yeah, so I also connect with engineers and whatnot. Yeah. So yeah, so that's that. That's number one. Connect with people that are in the fields that you want to see on your feed. Then interact with content that you would like to see more on your feed. So if you come across maybe a design post, in my case, interact with it, like it, repost it, comment on it. And I guess the algorithm picks up on that, and that's the type of content that that shows up on your feed much more. Do you get what I mean? And then also, if you come across content that you don't like, or perhaps you see a connection, maybe repost something that you don't want to see on your feed, you can always like remove the connection or unfollow the person, and voila, problem solved. And also you can also select the not interested option, or I don't want to see this on my feed. I forget what it's termed on LinkedIn, but yeah, that option. Yeah, so that's also helpful. So yeah, so that's how I was able to curate my feed to be mainly design related posts, and that kind of makes LinkedIn a bit more bearable because it's stuff that I want to see and stuff that sort of is beneficial to me and useful to me. And yeah, so that's how I guess I sort of made LinkedIn work for me. And also I think it's a mindset thing. Like, you know what you're there to do, you know what you're looking for. Like once you have that mindset, I think it makes it a bit easier. But honestly, once I get the job that I'm looking for, you guys will not even smell me on LinkedIn. Like, I'm gone, poof, vanished. I'm not gonna be on LinkedIn again because it's actually it's a bit draining, to be honest. It actually kind of is, but the game is the game. You gotta do what you gotta do. But once I get what I'm looking for from LinkedIn, you guys probably won't see me on LinkedIn again. But yeah, so that's that on the more you know. Hopefully that's helpful to those of you starting out. To those of you starting out on LinkedIn, hopefully that's helpful, and you, maybe put that into practice and let me know if it works for you. Yeah, so I wanted to share some stuff with you guys. I joined a session with Design Chicks. This is my first Design Chick session, and it was so cutesy. Oh my god, I need to stop being cringe. Okay, it was so cute actually. It was a session with Esther Adebayo, I believe, and she is on the People Ops team at Nomba. Nomba is a fintech in Nigeria. And yeah, so the session was organized by Design Chicks. And so essentially it was to prep newbie designers for interviews, like job interviews, and also prep your resume and LinkedIn, like just essentially optimize them to favor you in job applications and whatnot. All right, so I'm gonna share you guys the tips and tricks that I learned from the session. So first of all, hot take, and honestly kind of not super controversial, but I mean I think it is kind of controversial. So the People Ops babe, Esther, I'll call her Esther, mentioned that oh my goodness, my thoughts are jumbled up. Essentially, for your LinkedIn profile, when you apply for jobs, your LinkedIn profile, you also include it. So when recruiters look at your LinkedIn profile, it would favor you if your job title is the role that you're applying for. Do you get what I mean? So if I'm applying for a product design intern role, my job title on my LinkedIn, it would help if the job title on my LinkedIn is product designer, whether or not you're in that field or not. I mean, because they would expect that you would have already done some form of training, or you'd have come some way. Does that make sense? You would have made some progress in your career or transition into product design for you to call yourself, like for you to be confident enough to call yourself a product designer. So yes, it's helpful if you change your job title to the role you're applying for. So I recently changed mine from customer success associate to product designer, and it feels so weird. It's like, bro, but I'm not. I mean, I am technically, because I'm working on projects as a product designer, but it just feels weird. It feels, I think it's imposter syndrome, I don't know. But I recently did that, and it makes so much sense, because imagine they receive 2 applicants, right? And one person's job title is product designer and the other person's job title is customer success associate. Which do you think they'd go for? Obviously they'd go for the product designer. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, so help yourselves and optimize your LinkedIn profile for job applications. So yeah, so maybe do that. I did mine recently. It feels weird, but I mean, I'm embracing it, whatever. So yeah. So second thing is, so the same way you tailor the work experience on your resume when you're applying for a job is the same way you should tailor, I wouldn't say tailor, what's the word? It's the same way you would clean up or tidy up or arrange or package the work experience on your LinkedIn profile. So for the longest time, I had this role that I was this role that I had, this work experience I had as a social media marketing manager at a really small retail store. So it was on my LinkedIn profile, and the retail store is so small that they don't have a LinkedIn company. Although I do feel like it was relevant work experience to get my current job, but they don't have a LinkedIn company. They don't have a LinkedIn page. So the page, you know how on LinkedIn when you input the work experience and the company doesn't have a LinkedIn page, the profile picture is that gray box thingy. It kind of looks sus or not very user experience. People, you know what I'm talking about. It's not pleasing to the eye. It's almost like a red flag to recruiters. Not a red flag, but you get what I mean. So it's a bit sus. If you absolutely feel like the work experience you got from that role is relevant to whatever you're trying to apply for, then by all means leave it there. But if not, like if you feel like you can afford to remove it from your work experience, definitely do so, because it's honestly could be more harmful than beneficial in the long run. So yeah, so I recently had to remove that. I had to boot that out of my work experience. I removed it, and yeah, I mean, and to be fair, the work I did, or the work, what was the JD in that role is similar to the JD I had. Sorry, JD is job description. I'm sorry. Is similar to the job description in the previous social media manager role that I was in. So, I mean, the skill set is there. It's displayed on my LinkedIn page. So that works out for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, so there's that. Then lastly, when you apply for jobs on LinkedIn, right? You don't really know what the interface is like for recruiters, but apparently when you apply for jobs on LinkedIn, it doesn't, the way the applications show up on the recruiter's interface is not according to how you apply, or like it's not in chronological order per se. It is arranged according to like relevance. Oh my god. It is arranged according to relevance. So if an applicant's LinkedIn profile has all the keywords or the skill set on their LinkedIn profile, their application would come to the top, as opposed to another applicant that doesn't have those keywords on their LinkedIn profile. Do you get what I mean? So the moral of the story is, on your LinkedIn profile, the work experience part, the description for each role, put like, you know how it is on your CV, the bullet points and whatnot, actually put that on your LinkedIn profile and include all those important keywords, you know, especially for designers. This is referring to designers, words like keywords like wireframing, prototyping, those, buzzwords that recruiters look out for. Put that on your LinkedIn profile, because that's what will eventually favor your application if you're applying for a job via LinkedIn. So yeah, that's actually that was a really interesting tip that I found out, and I think it's super helpful. So I also went ahead and did that. I actually input the bullet points onto my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, and I think so far I feel like my LinkedIn profile is somewhat optimized. I hope so. But yeah, so that's that. I hope that's helpful to you guys. I just really wanted to share because I found it really helpful, and I'm sure you guys will too. So that, I guess, wraps up for today's episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.